Hey everyone, it's PNXO here. This video will be the first part of my Warlock tips and tricks guide. So basically in this video I'll be going over a few general tips and tricks that I think quite a few of you Warlocks out there aren't aware of, and I'll also be showing you guys a lot of cool clips along the way. Anyways, let's jump straight into it, guys. Alright guys, so I'm going to start off with something really simple but really effective as well. So I'm sure all of you know what bait casting is, and in this case I'm up against Warlock, so I'm going to be trying to fake his spell lock. I know when I first started playing Warlock, to fake cast I would just press spacebar to jump and cancel my cast, and then I would recast the spell. But in actual fact, by doing this you're putting yourself to a disadvantage because you're not using your global cooldowns effectively. So instead of just hitting spacebar to cancel my cast to fake cast and try and bait an interrupt, I'll just go ahead and let this clip play and then I'll explain exactly what I did after it. Okay, so a lot of you probably haven't picked up on it yet, but as you can see, I fake cast my Unstable Affliction, and to cancel my cast I use Corruption or Agony. So here I go, I cast the UA, and to fake cast it I spam number 4, which is my Bane of Agony bind. Not only does this fake cast my spell trying to bait his interrupt, but it also puts a dot on the target. So basically instead of me just jumping and hoping for them to use the interrupt, I've actually used my GCDs wisely. And if you add this up over a long period of time, in a long game for example, you've used your GCD probably 20 to 30 times more than you would have if you were just jumping to fake cast. And in this particular clip you can see how I put Agony and Corruption on their Shaman. So if I was to just fake cast by jumping and not using a GCD, I would be putting myself to a disadvantage where I'd have to use 2 GCDs after trying to fake the spell lock on the Shaman, and I would have wasted 2 GCDs I could have used on something else, which in my opinion is really huge over a long period of time, as I said before. So that's a really neat trick to get the hang of. Alright, so everyone should know what Soulburn Healthstone is. It's basically just a really huge heal. Not only do you get healed from the Healthstone, but you get a percentage of health increase, just like a last stand. But anyways, in this clip you'll see the standard way to use Soulburn Healthstone. As you can see, my Shaman's in a sap, and this Mage and Rogue are going really hard on me. So I'm going to Trinket and Portal away, and I'm on really low health, so I'm going to use my Soulburn Healthstone as well. And as you can see, I go back up to about 60% health. This is a really effective way to use your Healthstone, but there is another way. Let me show you. Okay, so in this clip you can see we're up against a cleave here and they're on my warrior. So I know my Shaman's going to have to Spirit Link soon. He doesn't have Nature Swiftness up. So now I'm going to run towards my Shaman because I know he needs me there to make Spirit Link more effective, to heal my warrior for a lot more. So take a look at our health here. My warrior is literally on 1%. So my Shaman just gets that Spirit Link totem off. And as you can see, it puts us all on about 60% health. So I'm going to use my Soulburn Healthstone. As you can see, I go up to about 100%, then my Shaman and Warrior go up to about 80%, and I drop down to 90%. That's another really effective way to use your Soulburn Healthstone for when your Shaman drops a Spirit Link totem. It actually makes it that more effective, and it's game breaking in my opinion. Alright, so we all know Shadow Priests are annoying to verse because they can Master Spell their healer out of CCs. So in this case, my Mage puts the Shaman into a polymorph, and this is actually impossible to react to, but as you can see, I predict the Master Spell and I spell lock it. So what's that, a 0.5 cast, and as an Australian you can see my latency is yellow. I think I had about 350 latency here and I was still able to CS it. I'm sure even with an American latency you wouldn't be able to react that fast. It's just all about timing and perfection. It's just one of those things that takes a while to get used to. I wouldn't say you'd be able to consistently spell lock Master Spell, but after a while you would be able to do it quite often. Moving on, so this strategy is specifically for versing Resto Shamans. Most comps Warlocks play, you should be with the melee, and those melee should be able to use a stun. For example, the Death Knight has a pet stun, Rogue has Kidney Shot, Cheap Shot, and Warriors have Throwdown. And this is honestly one of the most effective strategies in the game, seeing the majority of teams you verse have a Resto Shaman. Alright, so us Warlocks have in our mind when we're versing a Resto Shaman, they have a Tremor Totem, and we need to get that Tremor Totem out of the way so we can eventually sit their team in full Howl Terrors or any of them in a full Fear. But in this case we don't want to wait for that Tremor Totem to be off cooldown, so for my Howl Terror My rogue's going to kidney shot the shaman, and we're going to coordinate my Halo Terror on the whole team. This means even though their shaman has a Tremor Totem, he's unable to get his team out of the fear because he's stuck in a stun lock. And honestly, this is really simple. You just need to be coordinating with the DPS you're playing with. So in my case, my rogue, I ask him if he has a kidney shot, and I tell him to tell me when he's ready to use it, and I just use my Halo Terror as he's calling that he's going to kidney shot. So one of the most annoying things in my opinion as a Warlock is being trained by a cleave and not being able to get CC on the enemy healer. In this case you can see we're versing a rank 1 priest, so he's able to line of sight really well, and probably line of sight's the best out of any healer I've versed. So we realise we're going to have to pick our game up if we actually want to get some CC on this priest. So as you can see, both interrupts are down. I deliberately cast it in their face to make them interrupt me. So look carefully, my rogue has just shadow stepped and redirected a full kidney on the priest as he comes out of line of sight. This allows me to cast a full fear, which is roughly a 4-second cast with all the knockback included and the necrotic. And seeing this priest has trinketed blind recently, he's stuck in that fear full. And actually we set up a really good CC chain on this priest, which actually turns the game around in our favour. I'll let this play out so you can see what happens as well. So our goal is to make this Ret Paladin bubble, and we have no smoke bombs left, so my rogue's going to vanish and sap the priest full off of that fear. So we're going to sit on this Ret Paladin. Now rogue's going to dance sap the priest half off of that, and we actually get the paladin to use his bubble here. And all that CC was just off one fear. So it's basically just about being creative and thinking outside of the box. Alright guys, so here's the last trick I'll be showing in this video. So we all know most classes have an interrupt ability, whether it be spell lock, counterspell, pummel or kick. But it is one of our primary objectives to fake those interrupts to be able to get our cast off. But sometimes things can get quite complex, it's just a matter of knowing the class you're versing and knowing the player. So in this clip we're up against RLS against Nevs, a rank 1 Warlock, and Lyrics, a rank 1 Warrior, and not to mention a rank 1 Shaman from the last regionals. Okay, so as you can see I just faked Spell Lock and Pummel, but I know this Warrior, and I know he likes to Spell Reflect, so you can see he puts a shield on. I'm going to cast my UA, I'm going to fake cast this, and then I'm going to use Fell Flame preemptively, knowing he's going to use his Spell Reflect to try and stop that UA. And at the same time I know where their Shaman is, so I don't worry about faking the shock because I know he's unable to get it off behind that pillar. So yeah, this is pretty advanced, but you can see how I just made this warrior look like an idiot. Anyways everyone, that's it for my part 1 of my tips and tricks guide. Hope you all learnt something and enjoyed this video. Anyways, this is Punexo with Skillcapped. Thanks for watching. Until next time, have fun in the arena.